Hi, my name is Hunter Steele. I am a junior here at Regent University. I just had the opportunity to transfer down here about a year ago, and so having the opportunity to do that has been very rewarding, to say the least. This class and this assignment in particular, this interview assignment, has also been very rewarding. It was very helpful in seeing these principles of leadership really play out in a real life scenario through a real person with a real career. It's been helpful throughout the semester to learn about these principles through the textbook and through the different assignments. So I don't want to discredit any of those, but being able to see these things through the interview of a real person was just super rewarding. I think there's a lot of leaders today that wouldn't view leadership through a Christian perspective, and so being able to learn about them and then being able to interview a real leader and comparing their style of leadership to this Christian perspective style of leadership was just super rewarding and super helpful for my life and for my future. For the particular person I interviewed, he is a superintendent of a school district, and so I'm an education major for secondary history, and so being able to interview a superintendent, I mean, that's about as far up on the leadership chain as you can go for education. So not only does he oversee teachers in the school district, but he oversees everyone in the school district. And so I was able to see how he interacts with his teachers, interacts with the other faculty, how he sees the future, how he encourages people. Again, just going back to the 5 principles of modeling the way, inspiring a shared vision, challenging the process, enabling others to act, encouraging the heart. I was able to just really see how those play out. And for the superintendent in particular that I interviewed, he showed a lot of those characteristics and he showed a lot of those principles through the way that he leads. And I think that just comes from experience. I think that just he's been in his position for over 10 years, and so he's kind of learned, and he was a teacher before, and so he's kind of just been able to learn naturally how to lead through that. But even though he didn't explicitly say like, yeah, I lead through the way that the Bible wants me to lead, he did just kind of naturally lead that way for the most part. And I'm sure that there are leaders out there that wouldn't lead through a Christian perspective, or even might not even care for that matter to lead through a Christian perspective. But I am thankful that I was able to interview someone that at least somewhat shows these principles of Christian leadership. I think it's really helpful for myself, for my future career, and even for this next upcoming school year. For my senior year, I'll be student teaching a ton, likely with some middle school aged kids or high school aged kids, so somewhere between 13 years old to 17, 18 years old. And so I can take the leadership principles that we've learned throughout this class, and also everything I've been able to learn through the interview, and just see how he leads and he talked a little bit about his teaching experience too from I believe it was about 10 to 15 years ago, and just really see, and helps me plan out how I would want to set up and run and lead my future classroom, both for student teaching and for whenever I would graduate and get my own job. And again, I think this applies for more than just a career. I think this applies for almost every aspect of life. I mean, leadership is everywhere you look. And so I think I think for one, this is really helpful for helping plan out my future career as a teacher, potentially maybe even getting into an administrative role in a school district sometime down the line, which is certainly super helpful. But it's also really helpful just for life in general. I mean, these principles can be applied for even just leading your group of friends, leading a small group, leading a youth group, anything. These can be applied for any aspect of leadership in life. And so being able to learn about these principles throughout the class, and then being able to interview a real person with a real career, in a potential career that I might try and work towards someday, just being able to see how these principles really play out in a real life scenario. And then it helps me plan ahead for my future career of how I potentially would want to run my classroom, or someday down the line oversee a whole school district. So it's been super helpful to see how I would want to apply these characteristics to my life and to my future career, and ultimately to lead in a way that best represents Christ and how Christ led when he was here on earth. So again, I've been very thankful for this class, very thankful for this assignment. It's been one of the most enjoyable online classes that I've taken. And so thank you.